City of Army. Notices given for a public hearing meeting of the zoning commissioners of the City of Army to be held today, Friday, February 16th at 10 a.m. in the Commissioners' Chambers of the Municipal Building, 14729 Border Horse. Call to order and determine if a quorum is present.
Mayor Casey.
Here.
Commissioner Remy Guzman.
Here.
Commissioner Sebastian Martinez.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Great. Please rise for the invocation followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Your Honor, thank you for getting us together today for the zoning commission meeting. And I will just pray that we make the right decisions that be beneficial to the city of Monterey. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Yeah. And I agree with this. To all concerned, please be advised the zoning commissioners of the City of Von Army, Texas, hold a public hearing no earlier than 10 a.m. on February 16th, 2024, in person regarding the application for a special use permit for certain properties described herein. The meeting will be available to the public in person. Members of the public can comment on items on the agenda, submit comments. Approximately 25 acres out of 78.796 acre tract legally described as CB 4231P-9D ABS 372, owner application for special use permit. The zoning commissioners of Von Army request the landowner for considering a change in use allowed under the zoning district of the above mentioned property. The change proposed will allow truck and trailer parking on the following parcels, approximately 25 acres out of 78.796 acre tract, legally described as CB 4231 P-9D ABS 372. Number one, public hearing regarding the application for the special use permit to allow truck and trailer parking on the following parcels. Approximately 25 acres out of 78.796 acre tract, legally described as CB 4231 P-9D ABS 372. Okay. Public hearing is open. Go ahead.
Hi, I have Deborah Middleton. I have some concerns about the traffic, the trucks coming off of the Benton City Road exit. A lot of us, when we exit that, take that exit and do the 180 to come under the bridge, you know, we've got tractor trailers on our butt. The damage that they would do to the road, I mean, this whole project has no benefit to Von Army whatsoever. There's no sales tax. They're going to chew up our roads and congest both the 1604 and the Benton City exit. I hope you guys reconsider this.
Thank you.
My name is Juan Eduardo. I'm one of the neighbors next door to that property. They're going to propose the bill that trailer parking. My only compromise is if it's official, I've learned that they're going to clean out all the 80 acres and build on the 25 acres, but the cleaning out is a huge improvement if they plan to sell that for future development use of the city. So my only compromise is that they build it towards 1604, not on this side, which is closer to the park, because of noise. And also, I know that if they do a driveway in for trailers to be inside, so they're not on the street, just never fails for trailers going to be backed up, blocking the roads. That'd be my only concern.
Okay. We'll be able to discuss it the next time. We'll stay up for the public hearing if anybody else wants to speak. Can.
Casey, is there any plans with TxDOT to do anything with the 1604 exit? because that's already congested.
Yeah, I know. There are, I think it's the next item, actually, we can talk about some of that too. We'll leave it open for a public hearing and we'll definitely hit that on this next item. As well as all of your points. Would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm saying that better. I said that.
This is
I'm Bernie Davis, I represent Triton. We were originally granted the approval for the 25 acres on the south end of the 79 acres. And what we decided to do, the corporate owner wanted us to move to the north side. The reason being, there were several reasons for that, is that it left a gap between where we're going to put the trucking company and the ground in there next to the residential area on the north side. So by doing that, it would make it more difficult for the property to be sold for other retail businesses, but it would invite more industrial business. So the owner said, let's move to the north end and we'll clear that entire land out and then clean it up and make it available for sale for retail business, which the city needs. That would be more attractive, putting those businesses closer to the 1604 exit down in that end. So nothing's really changed. We already still have the 25 acres on the south end. We just want to move it to the north end to kind of make it a little bit easier for the attraction for additional businesses for the city. The only difference was we weren't going to clean up the whole thing. Now we are. We're going to do the whole thing. We're literally going to level that whole ground, take all those trees out, make it nice and respectable, get rid of that front line fence and put up a different fence. And our business will look really nice when it's completed. We intend to put a steel fence up between the TNI yard and the north residential area, along with we moved the retention pond from the south end up to the north end. We have to have that. Engineers say we can't get along without that damn thing. So I hate that retention pond. But we're going to have a very large office, and the yard will absolutely look fantastic. The same exact building that we're going to put in here is being built right now in Texarkana. It's almost completed. I've got to start building the offices inside of it. It'll be 100 by 105. We may increase that just slightly for the office size on the inside, but it won't affect the outside. And it'll be a three-lane service center. We don't repair trucks. We don't do body damage work. We don't work on trailers. We only service our own equipment. That's it. So it's a matter of trucks coming in for oil changes, get some depth for their diesel fuel, tires, that kind of thing. It's very minor. And the amount of equipment that will be established there at any given time other than holidays, you're only going to see about 10% of that equipment on the yard. It'll be several trailers because it'll be a change point from trucks coming in from Mexico into our Laredo facility to here, and then reroute it up north. We don't run anywhere except the central part of the United States. That's all we run. Mostly from Texas up through Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and that's pretty much it. Now, they've established a new company in Montgomery, Alabama, but that doesn't have anything to do with TNI. So we've outgrown our facility at the San Antonio facility. I'm sure you've seen it up there where the, I guess you call it the 410 loop and the 35 and the New Laredo Highway come together. And we can't build anymore. We tried to buy salvage yards, which they won't sell, so we can continue to expand, but we just can't do it. So we needed to expand. And we cemented that lot up there, and I think eventually, we don't have it on the plans right now, but I think within the next 2 or 3 years, we'll probably do the same thing here. But right now, we're not going to cover it with caliche, so it's all dusty and nasty. We're going to put down asphalt grindings on top of the base. And then we're also going to asphalt the area for the car parking, so that makes it a lot more attractive. We'll have all types of trees and shrubs and things along the highway for almost 1,000 feet in front of our facility. Nobody will be blocking any traffic. One thing we do at all of our facilities, since I've been doing this for 10 years, when the trucks come off of the frontage road, they turn into a 100-foot length stop lane. And then there's a gate. So that way they can enter the code, the gate opens, they're not blocking traffic. The same thing coming out, they don't block traffic. They got 100 feet there to stop before they enter into the lane. That's one thing we've done to stop any issues. We've never had a safety problem doing that. Not at all. So it really works out fantastic.
I forgot to mention, one more concern, what about the overuse of the street as a lane, on the actual main street?
I don't think you're, I don't want to say this with any knowledge because I'm not positive. But we took a look at the traffic that TxDOT showed for the amount of trucks that come off, where the truck stop and turn off and go up to the north side. We won't be adding that much more to it, and I understand TxDOT now has a plan, and what I understand, after talking to one of their engineers, they actually plan on coming in there and doing some work. I don't think it's gonna be for a year or two, but they're gonna come in there and resurface that area. Now, I don't know when that is exactly. You might know more about that than I do, but they told me that's in the plans. I don't have anything in concrete information for that. But as the city grows, as we put in more businesses, as things go on, then I think you're gonna see that that's gonna be improved considerably.
Thank you.
I have a question on your yard base. If you go by the STG yard farther north on 35, that on a windy day, it's just a dust cloud.
Yeah, we're not,
It's
we're trying to stop that. We're doing everything we can to stop that. Our trailer yard up at the San Antonio location has a caliche on it. And we've started replacing the caliche with just rock base and keep that dust down. With this asphalt grindings, you're not gonna see hardly any dust at all. In fact, it'll be tremendously better than what we've been doing with caliche in the past. Caliche is a good solid base, but it just creates problems with dirt, nasty dust and everything else. We've stopped using it. We stopped using it altogether. So I think you'll see a big improvement.
And with the diesel fuel and oil changes and fill-in trucks and stuff, is that going to impact any of the water? I mean,
No.
if there are leaks?
No. It's inside the shop. We don't do anything out on the yard at all. Everything is done inside the shop, and it'll, how can I say this? It's actually looks like a dealership lot when it's taken care of right. And there will be containers and tanks to collect all the used oil. They come and pick that up on a weekly basis. I think it's a 200, don't quote me, I think it's 200-gallon tank. And then we have a depth tank that will be inside the building, it will be outside, and the truck will come up and depth. We don't do any diesel fuel on our properties. We do that at the truck stop. In fact, that's one of the things that we're planning on doing is making that truck stop down there one of our major stops now.
Great. Any other comments for a public hearing?
I have a question. How many trucks do we expect per day in and out?
You know, that's a really difficult question to answer. We've done an average, and the average is 25 per day. It's hard to say because some days you'll see maybe 5 or 10, other days you'll see close to 100, but 25 is the average. And a lot of them don't come in for the purpose of what am I trying to say? Staying. Those that live in the area will. We've got 150 drivers that are assigned to this facility. So they come and park trucks, you know, when they come off the road. They can stay out as long as they want, or they can stay home as long as they want. So you never can tell when a driver's going to want to take time off. But they'll come in. A lot of the trucks come through just to pick up depth for their tanks and hit the road and drive back out. But the relay purpose will be for drivers that come up from Mexico, or I'm sorry, from Laredo, and they'll drop their load and reassign it to a different driver and then go on up north from there. That is not as often as the trucks that come in that will be just parked to go home. But the average is about 25 a day. And that's in a 24-hour period. Now that don't mean there's one an hour, so I don't want to mislead you there, because I was just at our San Antonio yard this morning and I didn't see any trucks for the 3 hours I was over there. But that sometimes changes drastically. You'll have trucks lined up waiting to get in and get diesel, or not diesel, but depth, and they'll bring in their bills and turn them in and swap trailers and be right back out on the yard.
Okay. So we're ready to close the public hearing. It is 10:15. Number 2, discuss, consider, and take possible action regarding the application for a special use permit to allow truck and trailer parking on the following parcels. Approximately 25 acres out of a 78.796 acre tract legally described as CB 4231 P-9D ABS 372. So this is an item we had previously considered, and we had approved a 25-acre piece on the other side. You know, at the time, we've had a lot of conversations going back and forth. And I think for us to be, as a city, to attract the businesses, to attract the investment in Von Army, it's prudent of us to be business friendly. There were a lot of aspects of this that we went back and forth in discussing, things like, you know, the dust in the air, the setbacks, the entryway, the fencing, the landscaping. We've had all this kind of back and forth, and they've been accommodating to our requests for the site. One thing I wasn't quite pleased with was its original placement, being that close to I-35 and 1604 intersection. Feedback we've gotten talking to developers is, mainly for that commercial investment, the sales tax driving businesses that we want to attract, and they really need more rooftops. They also need infrastructure. So we can kind of see this window 2 to 3 to 5 years to try and attract those businesses. And I didn't like its placement there, taking up, what was closer to the exit, which would have, higher retail value. So I would say I do like this change. I realize it is closer to your community. They do have a buffer area in there. I know that there will be, you'll hear trucks, I assume, at some points of the day. But the way it's placed, I hope you can kind of see that, it's not quite up to all of the existing residences. So that would be the downside of this site, that it's even close to a couple of residences. But I think with the buffer, the detention, it appears to be minimal as it could be for that specific site. So I'm in favor of working with this international business. There are improvements of 1604. There are improvements that I've heard of. They've been very tight-lipped though with the exact plans. But we have heard that they are going to be upgrading that 1604 intersection, really all the way from 90 to 1604. From 90 to I-35 along 1604, making it 4 lanes. We're going to put potentially some cloverleaf roundabouts, which I'm not super excited about. But we have a lot that still to come there, and I think it's years in the process.
If I can interject something real quick. I had a meeting, I'm going to say it was 1.5 years ago, with the TxDOT. They had a big, huge meeting regarding the modification they're going to do the Interstate 410 around 35. And it's already started with construction around the 90 side, but it will, over the next 5 years, come all the way to 35. We're going to close it down to 2 lanes and open it up and turn it into massive overpasses with big entrance ramps and everything. And they plan on extending that down past 1604. They didn't go into detail during that meeting on what they were going to do south, but they said they're going to be doing a lot down there. So I think that's probably going to take off here within the next 2 years, and you're going to see a massive improvement on the interstate structure on South 35, which will impact our army. It's going to be big. I mean, they've got like $2.something billion set aside just for that project.
And I would say, yes, this doesn't create sales tax revenue, but it does bring jobs. Jobs make the rooftops more attractable. More rooftops make the commercial more attractable. There's also consumer spending. So if they're going to use our pilot gas station, I see a ton of TNA trucks coming and going before these conversations. And they're making that pilot their designated place. There's a lot of spending. We learned we don't get the fuel. There's no sales tax with fuel, but any of the consumer spending inside, as those drivers are coming and going, would be a benefit to the city. So my general thoughts, if the gentleman would like to add.
Okay, before, when we started this, I wouldn't know, okay?
I understand.
Because that's prime land where you wanted to build those 25 acres up front. I see now that you moved it back, and I hope that in the future we can get some type of business in there that brings revenue for the city.
Mm-hmm.
City's broke, we need money, we don't need more parking lots. So, as I see it now, I think my vote would be to approve that.
Great.
Yeah, we've discussed this over and over and over
Yes.
the past year.
I think when we improve that land and clear it down, it's going to be more attractive. much more friendly.
And since we've already approved them being there, and, they're gonna be moving away from the road, and that's a good thing. And the interest they have, when the truck has to go way back in there after it comes off the highway, they're not gonna be standing there blocking traffic. It's safe coming in and going out, and that's a good thing. So, since we've already approved it, I think we should approve the change.
Great, so I've got one question though. We didn't make it, so last time we approved it in the planning, right? We didn't take it all the way for this piece, so if we approve this today, it's not like they have the two approvals from both locations, right?
Well, they withdrew the previous
Okay.
application.
So it only, okay, that was.
Say that again, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
He started the application process over, he submitted a whole new application, a whole new fee, so.
Right, so nothing applies to the other piece?
No.
This only applies to this. Okay. Do you like to make a motion?
Can I make one? The 100-foot pull-off for a truck, that's only gonna accommodate one truck, so if you.
No, it's wide enough to accommodate more than one. It'll be, my original design was 35 feet, but I'm gonna take it out 65 to 70 feet. So we can have more than one truck, if it's lined up, they can come in double, also leaves room for one lane going out. So my plan now is to change it to 2 lanes going in and 1 lane coming out. Originally, it wasn't that way, it was just gonna be 1 and 1, but I think I'm gonna expand that. And I'm the guy that designs all this stuff, so I can do it as we need done. And I've never had the owner come back and say, no, let's don't do that, change it. Once I show him what we're gonna do, he's usually for it with no problem. But that's gonna be my design change. Make it really easy.
Because we have a lot of accidents on 35, and it backs up our access roads. If you know, anytime there's any kind of, you guys have seen this, there's an accident on 35, all the trucks get off on, and they just completely clog.
I've seen it too. Yeah.
It's bad.
Well, we don't plan on being anything but beneficial. We're gonna do everything we can to help the city. And do everything we can to keep our area nice and clean and representative of a professional business, not a junkyard. It's just, I'll put it that way.
Okay, I think we have finished our discussion. Anybody like to make a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the change there.
Okay, is there a second?
I second the change.
All right, so a motion has been made and seconded to approve the change. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mayor, I will say, in reviewing our zoning ordinance with Jacob, so we cannot have the second meeting with Board of Commissioners to approve it for 30 days. That's what the ordinance says. We have to have it 30 days after today.
All right,
So in 30 days, we'll have to call a meeting for the Board of Commissioners to consider this.
retract, where that?
I didn't understand all that, I'm sorry.
So,
Previously, we thought that it was 2 weeks so that we could post it in the paper, and then after a 10-day notice, we could have the second meeting for the board to approve the permit. But it's actually 30 days after today. The Board of Commissioners can't consider it for 30 days after today, according to our zoning ordinance.
So they will meet in 30 days?
It's 30, yes, sir.
What I would like to start doing, based on permission, I want to start clearing land immediately. If there's no issues.
so we do tree preservation.
We have a tree preservation, I think a demolition permit's $25.
Yeah, we talked about it before, that there is a process, you know, so that would be separate from this, I would say. There's a separate process you can take to sort of that.
We could use the same paperwork, but there's just a different form, and I think it's a $25 permit.
Somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
Clearing,
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to be adjourned there.
I second.
There's no motion seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? All right, we adjourn.
Okay. It's a pleasure. My name's Tony, by the way. I'm obviously a lot more of you guys. I'll be around.
It's gonna have an impact on you.
Mayor, comments are one. You could have been out there,
Pretty much, okay, right, that's it. I don't know if it's building today.